Okay, so we just left Rev MMA. I just finished teaching the lunch class. I teach the lunch class every day throughout the week, and it's a all levels Muay Thai class. So we have some members come in and their first day, like today we had one lady, it was her first day, and we have some members come in and they're intermediate level, and we have some advanced guys who are looking to have their first match this year or looking to even just leveling up in the sport. So there are all types of levels. The way I do the lessons there are very general, and if someone's a little bit advanced, I would come around and give them a little bit more detail or a little bit more work to do. And if someone's a little bit newer, I would come around and give them modifications to make it a little simpler. Right now I'm heading home back to Pickering, back to the operation.
And I just wanna ball, somebody I can call. Trophies on the wall, can I really have it all? Just wanna ball, somebody I can call. Trophies on the wall, can I really have it all? Yeah, look, I just want it all. Yeah, and I just wanna ball, somebody I can call. Trophies on the wall, can I really have it all? Can I really have it? It's no mistakes when I start. I'm for the greats in the art. I've been shooting my shot, and would you look at the art? It started off as a spark, just doing work in the yard.
So when you look at somebody's pop collection, it's a direct representation of something that they grew up on and the popular culture that was a part of their childhood. So I grew up in the 90s. As you can see on the very top here, we have Biggie and Tupac, the kings of hip hop to me. Jimi Hendrix and Prince. I have a few more Prince pops at the back, but I put the Third Eye girl because that third eye mentality and learning about the pineal gland is what motivated this first t-shirt that we did. I have the right to remain violent with the EYE and the triangle at the end. You know, just opening the pineal gland, opening and aligning all the chakras is something that Prince really heavily promoted, and he left us with that. And then under music is I was into Street Fighter and fighting games growing up, so there's the collection. On this side of the basement, we have our TBA titles. Anyone who does Muay Thai or kickboxing knows what Thai Boxing Association is. The Muay Thai Classic, they have every year. Once a year, everybody prepares for 120 teams, 900 fighters. Winner takes all. So when we went to TBA in 2012, we won 10 world titles, and the record before that was 4. Now, my wife was motivated by that, and she trained hard, and she came the following year. So this was 2013, and we both won the same day, and we broke our own record by winning 12 world titles, and.
Which gym was that?
Southside Muay Thai. 12 world champions, 2013. No team has yet to come close. And I don't think no team will ever come close. So this is our heat press. This is where we make our vinyl t-shirts. Once this turns on and heats all the way up to 320, then we'll be ready to press vinyl. Over here we have just a basic PC where we run Coral Draw, and this is our plotter cutter. So this is where we insert the vinyl. It connects to the computer, and the computer can transfer the file that you need cut or the sticker that you need cut. So once I settle on something that I like, I like to ship my ideas because with artists, a lot of times we second guess it and we sabotage ourselves right before shipping it to the world. So I usually go with my first instinct because that's usually right. You just select cut and it sends that information to the plotter cutter. So now we have our image here. As you can see, I cut it out on the plotter cutter perfectly. And we have our weeder. Okay. I'm just gonna nick the corner, just like that, so I can peel it. Okay, just enough. Okay, that's enough for me to grab onto. And I'm gonna, this is called weeding. Now I'm gonna weed it. Slowly, try not to pull off any of the letters. So this is where everything is manufactured, not just for me, but for other businesses as well. Clinch Culture, Chokti Lifestyle, Haven Fightwear, shout out to Alex Shirley, Nico Austriaco, shout out to Arifa and Adam Card. So as you can see, we're approaching 320. We're at 312 going up. I grew up on Jane Street, specifically Southside Jane Street, around Black Creek. And if anybody grew up on Jane Street or Regent Park, in the 90s, you'd know what I'm talking about. It was crazy times to be a kid witnessing some of the stuff happening. I had a little clique of friends, like everyone in the neighborhood would click up, and there were 4 of us who'd spend every single day together. One of them went away for 13 years to prison. One of them got deported back home to the country he came from, and one of them got murdered on Christmas Eve in 2008. So all we're left with is me. So that's why I wear Southside Jane so proud on my sleeve, because I feel like when I went into martial arts, when I went into fighting, it wasn't just me in the ring. I was fighting with the whole of the strip. Like, that's what we call it, the strip. The whole of the Jane strip on my back. Like, I'm the fighting pride of Jane Street. I don't know any other martial artist that came out of Jane proudly repping Jane. Like, most of the people that came out of that neighborhood choose not to talk about it or aren't proud of it, but it's something that really made me who I am, gives me the charisma and the style that I have. You know, that's why if you notice, you go back and watch my fights, you always see green. You always see army green shorts or green prajad. That's just a little symbol to remind the people and to remind myself, mostly. It was mostly to remind myself that no matter where I go, I wear this with me. And, you know, some of my friends that aren't with me today would be very proud of where I ended up and what I'm doing with the community nowadays. At Jane and Woolner on the corner there is where I took my first ever Taekwondo class and learned about martial arts. And it's also where I used to go to the donut shop to play arcade games. They had the Marvel vs. Capcom and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinets, and that's where I got my first taste of competitive gaming. Like, you put your quarter up, you wait your turn, and winner stays on. So it was very competitive. It completely connected to my career because I got addicted to competition and fighting games specifically. What makes fighting games so special to me is the rock, paper, scissor aspect of it. Meaning, if you attack me, I can choose to block it, I can choose to evade it, or I can choose to interrupt it with a move that's faster than yours. And as a kid, I didn't understand frame data and moves that were invincible, so it was just playing through feel. And it's not until I got older and started studying more about fighting games that I learned that they're all the same. They're all about frame data. So if somebody's gonna hit you with a big strike, you can interrupt it like with a jab, and that directly connects to real fighting and how I fight. That rock, paper, scissor aspect, if you get good at it, rock, paper, scissor is psychology, and there's a reason people are good at it. It's not random at all, but there are percentages, there are chances. Nothing is 100 proof, and that's what makes fighting infinite. My father was always in and out of prison, so when I met him for the first time, I was 4 years old, and when I saw him for the last time, I was 11 years old. And I went about 16 years without seeing him, and when I was about 27, I reconnected with him after 16 years of no contact. So that prison life really breaks up families. Like, it could put kids through a lot. I met my wife at the gym where we were both training Muay Thai, and her family was very, very strong, very intact. And I took a trip to the Philippines with them, actually, not with my own family. And it was there I really got a sense of tradition. I really got a sense of family and camaraderie. And growing up, my mom always told me the Philippines is bad, and it's dirty, and it's poor, and it's ghetto, and it was always these negative things. So when I went there and I seen it for myself, it changed everything. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It was really that trip to the Philippines that when I came back, I said, man, my roots are really deep in the Philippines. I need to see what my roots are like in Jamaica, and I can't do that without my dad. So I had to reconnect with my father, and I found him on Facebook, and it's been great. It's been great ever since, connecting with my father, getting to know more about myself, why I do things, why certain things annoy me. When you meet your father, for those of you that don't have fathers or are thinking about finding your father, I suggest you do it. It's one of the best things I've ever done, and it changed my life. Because my wife would always talk about having kids, but I told her I need to find my father first, and then we can talk about that, or we can definitely do that. And that's what we did. We started to make a family as soon as all the grandparents were in the picture, you know? So my kids can have the grandparents on their mother's side and their father's side, which none of us had growing up. So it gives them a big advantage in life.
Clinch culture was, Aaron and I had been doing like apparel and t-shirts and all types of crazy jobs and activities together since basically 2011. And it all started off from training together, and I guess our experiences, that's what Clinch culture is. It represents our past and what we want other fighters to have. And Clinch culture was just Aaron and I literally having a conversation like, yo, we already create t-shirts, you know. I used to press t-shirts, and then I got him to like help me at the shop, and then we decided to invest in our own equipment, and we ended up getting that. And then we were like, why not create our own brand instead of just taking other people's orders and creating custom stuff? So that's how Clinch culture got started. It was basically just, I don't know, Aaron and I hanging out like we always do after training, and he was like, yo, Clinch culture.
I'm grateful for Muay Thai because it's given me a platform. There are a lot of kids nowadays coming up that see the UFC or see Sanchai on Instagram, and they come into the gym and they want to learn Muay Thai. Whatever I tell them, they know it's worked for me, and they take what I say seriously. So Muay Thai has given me a platform to speak my mind, and now I can talk to the kids about things that are a little bit more important than just Muay Thai.